Hey, what's going on, everyone? I recorded this once, so we're doing it again. I downloaded a new um, camera recording app for my phone. So this one is not supposed to have a maximum time limit like the other one did, and hopefully I'm doing this one right. This is the first time using the app, so hopefully it works. And when it comes to what video we're doing today, we're actually doing a deck tech. I did not do one last week because I had a lot going on just in life. Um, but this week we're actually doing a deck tech of one of my favorite videos, or one of my favorite decks that I've done, and it's probably one of the longest together decks that I've had. So the deck we're actually doing is Sythis Harvest Hand. This one is just it's a like all enchantment decks. It's I'm gonna dirtle, and then I'm going to just combo and win. So that's pretty much what the name of this deck is just play enchantments, draw cards, and gain life. And you're gonna be doing a lot of drawing cards. So in the deck you will notice that there is no tutors whatsoever because you draw into your win cons so much, so easy. Um, and I think the highest CMC in the whole deck is like 6. So I would say though that this deck is not casual. This deck is high powered but not CEDH. I would probably consider it like 7 or 8 power, but it's one of my favorite decks to play. I love it. I haven't been able to play it in a long time because everyone that does play against it, for some weird reason, they just don't like it. It just like I said, like most enchantment decks, it just sits there. I just go, I'm doing nothing. I'm not doing anything to affect your board, but I do have ways to interact with what you're doing and with what your board is doing. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at this deck. This app though does not give me ways to like pause the video, so you'll just see me tilting the camera down and getting into the playmat, and then we can go ahead and show the deck off. So here we go. So Sylva's Harvest Hand, if you guys haven't played against it, it is 1 green, 1 white. So it's 2 mana. And sorry about that, that's the phone. So 1 green, one white, and it is a enchantment creature that just says whenever you cast an enchantment, draw a card and gain a life. And you're going to be doing a lot of drawing cards in this deck. So first off, we have our fetch lands. For our lands, we'll do lands first. So we have Fabled Passage to get a basic land, Windswept Heath to get a forest or a plains, Prismatic Vista gets you another basic land. That's the only fetches we use in the whole entire deck. And then we have Sarah Sanctum, tap to add white for every enchantment you have in play. There's times where this can tap for 10, 12, 15 mana. Ancient Tomb, tap for 2 colorless mana, lose 2 life. Hall of Heliod Generosity, it's just you're using it because of you pay 1 and a white and tap this, and you put target enchantment from your graveyard to the top of your library. So it's just, you're gonna recur enchantments, and when you recur enchantments and you cast the enchantments, so this will go off and you'll draw cards. Reliquary Tower, you need this because you are going to be drawing a lot of cards. Now, even if you don't have it in play when you're drawing all these cards, it doesn't matter because we have ways to get all of our enchantments back from the graveyard. Command Tower, just really good for commander. Temple Garden, your shock land. Canopy Vista, it counts as a forest and plains, so that's why I play it. Savannah, just the old school green-white duel. Brushland, tap to add a green or a white and deals 1 damage to you. Sun Petal Grove comes into play untapped as long as you have a forest or a plains. Brontiful Promenade, this is going to be your commander land, so as long as you have 2 or more opponents, comes into play untapped. Selesnya Sanctuary, I actually pulled this out of a Double Master 2022 pack probably about a month ago. Opened it just for fun and pulled this, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know they sold these in foil and all that for that set. So slowly I'm starting to get the foil ones of all these for all the decks that I have that are 2 colored decks, 2 or more colors. And then for basic lands, we're running 9 forests. I run all the same lands in all my decks, so all these arts. So you're running 9 forests and 9 plains. So that's the land count for the deck. Let's get into the non-enchantment stuff of the deck. Right now, let's go into removal. So, condemn. If a creature is attacking you or your planeswalker, pay 1 mana and just put it to the bottom of their library. Beast Within, destroy target permanent, give them a 3/3. Generous Gift, destroy target permanent, give them a 3/3. Swords of Plowshares, just exile target creature. Path to Exile, same thing. And then for board wipes, we're going to have here. Hold on, need to do this. So for board wipes, we're going to be running Wrath of God and Day of Judgment. It's the same thing as Wrath of God, does the same exact thing. Fractured Gust, this will actually combo with a couple pieces that we have. This destroys all artifacts and enchantments on the field, and then I gain 2 life for each permanent destroyed this way. So we'll keep that over here. And because we're going to be showing you of what we use to combo with that. Then for draw power, we have Scroll Rack. Scroll Rack is another piece that combos with another card in the deck that is an enchantment. We'll just leave that off to the side here. But it's pretty much for draw power, because what you're doing is you pay 1 and tap this, and say like this is your hand. You exile this, you draw that same amount of cards from your deck, and then the cards that you put off here to the side in exile, that just goes back on top of your deck. So it's just another way to filter through your deck a lot faster. And then Misa Enchantress, cast an enchantment, draw a card. Archivist of Ogma, you can flash this in whenever your opponents are searching their library. So if they like tutor or search for a land or something like that, right? You flash this in for 1 and a white, and you're not going to stop the search, but you're going to gain 1 life and draw a card. So again, drawing cards. Eidolon Blossoms, when this or another enchantment card comes into play, you draw a card. Satyr, whenever you cast an enchantment, draw a card. The champion is whenever this or a enchantment comes into play, you put a 1/1 counter on this and draw a card. Lauren of the Third Path, this is a double use. So first off, when it comes into play, you can destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. And then the other part is that you can tap this, and you and target opponent each draw a card. So it's draw power, and it's removal for if your opponents have something that you don't like. Then of course, this is an enchantment, but it's whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. So it goes with the enchantments, but it's a part of draw power, so that's why I put it in with the draw stuff. Verdant Enchantress, whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. I don't know why that thing's going off, sorry about that. Now we're going to go into protection. Heroic Intervention, give all your stuff hexproof and indestructible. Flawless maneuver. If you have your commander in play, which you should, this you can just cast for free to give your creatures indestructible. And Teferi's Protection, I'm just gonna zone out and I'm gone. You guys can't affect me. And then for the when it comes to you cast this card, right? So like we said before, it destroys all artifacts and enchantments. This will combo with the next 3 cards. So the next 3 cards are Open the Vaults. This does it to everyone. Return all artifacts and enchantments from the graveyard to play. But you're an enchantment deck, so it just helps you even more. Replenish. This is a reserveless card, but it is a return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, so it only does you. And then Calyx, the +1 is really good. You look at the top 4 cards, you grab a enchantment, and you put it into your hand, and the other 3 cards go to the bottom of your library. So it's, I guess it's kind of like a tutor, but it's not. It just, looks at the top 4. But then if you ult this, you can return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, and then for artifact mana, we have Jeweled Lotus. You're not going to use this on the first time that you cast your commander, but you are going to use it the second or third or fourth time that you cast your commander, because this just makes it to where, this is the second time casting your commander. You got this, so you're going to make 3 green, and then you still have to tap for 1 white. So, seems pretty good. And then you have Mana Crypt. Get 2 colorless, and just makes it to where you can just cast your things out even faster. Selesnya Signet. I still need to get a talisman for this deck. Soul Ring. Lotus Petal. This is the card you want turn 1. So you play any land, and then you have this in hand. You cast that out. So you sack this for like 1 white, right? And then you have another land that produces green. So you can cast your commander turn 1. Mox Amber. So it's basically if you have your commander out turn 1, or worst case scenario, turn 2, this can actually tap for white or green on turn 2. And then Arcane Signet. And then for the just good boss monsters, you have this guy, Dragon Lord Jamoka, can't be countered, and then your opponent cannot cast spells during your turn. Avacyn, she's indestructible. She gives all of your things indestructible. Lavinia, it's really just there for activated abilities of creatures your opponents control, can't be activated. Triskelion and Walking Ballista, these will combo with another creature enchantment that I have in the deck. You run both because Triskelion, if it's in your graveyard, it can come out with 3 1/1 counters on it, and then you can remove a counter and do 1 damage to any target. Walking Ballista, this is the one that you would cast from your hand. You don't want this one coming from your graveyard because that it just dies because it's a XX cost. So on cast, you have to put a certain amount of mana into it, and that's the amount of +1/+1 counter that you get. But the second ability is they both do the same thing. You can remove a counter and do 1 damage to any target. So we'll put these over here because that'll combo with another card. Staff of Domination. This again will combo with another card, another enchantment creature that I have in the deck. So we'll put that over there, and you guys can see what those combos are later on. So now we're going to get into the enchantments. Shield of the Oversoul. So this is in here because you can enchant your commander. So because it's white and green, this says if it's white, it'll get +1/+1 and has flying. And then if it's green, it gets +1/+1 and has indestructible. So you enchant onto your commander. So your commander is +2/+2, has indestructible and flying. Seems good. So Heliod Sun's Crown. This is the card that combos with both of these cards, Triskelion and Walking Ballista. If you have, so you get this out, right? And then you cast one of these, and then this, you pay 1 and a white, and you give one of these lifelink. Even though you're removing a counter because of lifelink, it gets that counter back. So it is a legit machine gun. So you can just kill everyone right then and there. Destiny Spinner, this is how you get this out, and they can't say nothing to it because creatures and enchantment spells can't be countered. This is how you protect all of your enchantments. So Greater Oromancy says other enchantments that you control have Shroud. And then you have Sterling Grove, says the same exact thing. So when you have both of these in play, everything has Shroud. If you only have one of these in play, they have to kill one of these first before they can target any of your enchantments. But if you have both of these in play, they both say other enchantments have Shroud. So as long as you have both of these in play, your opponents cannot target anything. You can't target them either, but you don't care. And then for more protection, you have Sphere of Safety. Just says for every enchantment that you have in play, your opponents cannot attack you or a planeswalker that you control unless they pay X, which X is the number of enchantments that you control. Ghostly Prison, creatures can't attack you unless they pay 2. So that's pretty good. Blind Obedience, artifacts and creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped, and it has Extort. So basically every time that you play a white card, you can just pay a white, and then whenever you cast a spell, you may pay white. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain that much life. So anything that you cast, like say you casted Walking Ballista or you casted Scroll Rack, and then after it resolves, you pay a 1 white, because we can't play black because Extort is white or black, but it's in the reminder text, so it doesn't matter that it's there. But yeah, you just like get Scroll Rack out, and then you say I'm gonna pay a white, and now everyone loses 1 life, and you gain that much life. Kismet basically does the same thing, but it's been errated to say all opponents, but artifacts, creatures, and lands come into play tapped. And that's only for opponents, not you. Aura of Silence, artifacts and enchantments your opponents cast cost 2 more to cast, and then you can sack this and destroy target artifact or enchantment. So this is the one enchantment that you always want to loop through your graveyard to the top of your deck, so you're always casting this on your turn. Miri's Guile, it is Sensei's Divining Top for green. So on your upkeep, you're going to look at the top 3 cards and you're going to choose which one you want to draw. Karmic Justice just says, if you target my stuff, I'm going to target your stuff. That's pretty much it. Darksteel Mutation is another removal. You can enchant a target creature, and it becomes a 0/1 insect with indestructible. So it's really funny when you put this on your opponent's commanders. It doesn't remove it, it just turns it into a 0/1 insect. Aura Shards, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may destroy a target artifact or enchantment. You can target your own stuff, or you can target your opponent's stuff. Song of the Dryad, again, it's funny to put this on your opponent's commander because of the fact that you are turning their commander into a colorless forest land. So you basically just turned their commander into a land that taps for a forest. Soul Snare, Pay 1 and sack this, and exile target creature that's attacking you or a planeswalker you control. So it's another form of removal. Out of time. So the way that this works is you count the creatures that are on the battlefield, you and all of your opponents. Say there's 20. You can exile all 20 creatures, and this has vanishing, so you get rid of the 20 creatures. This has vanishing 20. So unless they get rid of this enchantment, they legit have to wait 20 turns before they get any of their creatures back. Exploration, you may play an additional land. Carpet of Flowers, you can use this once per turn to, you target the person that has the most islands, and you get that many of any one color. Caves of Lockhouse, 4 mana to play an additional land, but then when you solve this case, you can actually look at the top card of your library and you can play a land or an enchantment or creature from the top of your deck. So pretty good. Land tax, this is the enchantment that combos with Scroll Rack. So at your upkeep, you're going to get up to 3 basic lands, and then you go to draw for turn, and then if you have Scroll Rack in play, you look at your 4 cards. Let's just say you have 4 cards minimum. You can be like, well, I'm going to activate Scroll Rack. So now you put the 4 over here, you draw the 4 from the top, and then the cards you put here go back on top of your deck. So now it's just a way to cycle through your deck. Smothering Tithe, of course, everyone hates it or loves it. Anytime that your opponent draws a card, do you wish to pay 2? If not, I create a treasure token, more mana. Mirari's Wake. Basically, all my lands will tap for an additional mana, so you get your mana taps for double now. Bear Umbra. Enchant creature gets +2/+2, and whenever it attacks, you untap all your lands. So on attack trigger, you just untap all your lands. Wilderness Reclamation. At your end step, you untap all your lands. Sanctum Weaver. This is the card that combos with this guy. So she says you can tap her and you can get X mana of any one color for the number of enchantments that you have in play. She herself is an enchantment. So the thing you do is, as long as you can have this tap for 5 mana, you can use this, pay 3, and you can untap target creature. So you untap her. So now you're down to 5 mana, right? Now you use 1 of those mana to untap this. So now you're at a +1. So now with these 2 cards, you are now at a infinite mana. And every time that you tap her, you can say, oh, I'm going to tap it for white. Next time is green. Next time is white. Next time is green. So now you have infinite white and green mana. Undergrowth Recon. This just says at the beginning of your upkeep, you can get a land card from your graveyard, and it comes into play tapped. This is where you get into your token makers. Hallowed Haunting says every time that you cast an enchantment, you make a spirit, which its power and toughness is equal to the number of spirits you have in play. And when you have 7 or more enchantments, all of your spirits have flying and vigilance. Sigil the Empty Throne. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, make a 4/4 angel with flying. And then Luminarch Ascension. Anytime that someone just passes their turn and they haven't done any damage to you, you put a counter on this. And as long as there is 4 or more counters on this, you can pay 1 and a white and create a 4/4 angel creature token with flying. So, yep. This deck will draw so many cards. There's no reason to have tutors in this. If you want to, like, I did run it before with tutors, but I found out it really wasn't needed because it was just like you put the tutors in because it was like win more. So it really just wasn't worth it because you draw so many cards with this deck that it's just you draw into your things that you need every single time. So, but that's my take on the Sythis Harvest Hand deck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I can actually upload it this time because this is my third time recording this, and hopefully for the best. You guys have a good night. Talk to you later.